the Streamers Podcast Studio. We're doing an episode today live with Steven.
Hello.
We're not even set up yet, but if you're watching this on the replay or live, that's what we're up to today. Oh, and it doesn't like live video this way, so we're gonna go this way, I guess. I'm surprised that that's the case.
Well, TikTok kids, they're not like the better generation that understood horizontal videos better.
I just thought live video people would want to watch it on their TVs, but I guess they want to watch it on their phones.
You want to flip the camera around? There we go.
It's weird. Whoa.
There we go.
And you're watching our very first broadcast. You doing great so far?
Oh yeah, look at them go.
We're watching our very first broadcast. Is my phone plugged in? Because it was pretty low on battery. Yeah, it's plugged in.
Yeah, it's plugged in.
And we're going to be recording over here on our good camera. And live on YouTube. All right. Are we ready to hit play on that one?
Oh, it's done.
Welcome back to the Brandon K Show. I am your host, as always, Brandon K, and we are streaming from our podcast studio in Westminster.
Streamers
Podcast Studio, and we are streaming live on YouTube and recording for, in general. But today I'm here with my partner, Steven. Steven is the one who set all this up, the curtains, the pads on the walls, the camera, everything. So we want to thank Steven for setting all this up.
Well, as a kid, Mom always told me I was going to need to be in a padded room.
And yeah, you came up with this idea, and it's really come together. But we are still doing Brandon K Show to start, and I'm on F. We did A through F. We took a long hiatus, and I said, Steven, are we gonna do friends of the Brandon K Show, fantasy, favorite fantasies? What are we gonna do? And Steven said,
Freaks,
exactly. So we're gonna do the freaks of history today. Steven loves to talk about history all the time in our personal lives. He's always bringing up different examples of people from history, and especially freaks of history.
Oh, well, they're more notable than the normies.
So here's one that we've been talking about a lot lately. Emperor Norton. And I'd never heard of this guy until Steven told me about him. He's born 1818 and he lived till 1880. He's the Emperor of the United States. I bet you guys never even heard of this guy.
Well, he was more or less the self-declared Emperor of the United States and Protector of Mexico.
Did he actually go to Mexico?
I don't think he may have, but basically he was a well-off enough guy. He was a prospective business owner, an entrepreneur back in the day, and then he invested in rice or something along those lines in the rice trade, and he lost everything. And he was in San Francisco, and he just decided, fuck it, I'm just going to be the town weirdo. And the town freak. He wore an old Civil War hat, grew a big beard, had a sword, decided to wear what he thought the Emperor of the United States and Protector of Mexico would be. And he just rolled with it.
At some point, he said, I'm the Emperor of the United States.
Yeah.
And then people went along with it?
They just went along with it, yeah. They just the locals were like, he's a weirdo. I'm sure it took him a little while to warm up to him. But he just, it got to the point where he issued his own currency. He made his own banknotes so that he could go in and get food and whatnot, and they accepted it.
With his Civil War hat on?
Yeah, and he just roamed around the streets of San Francisco pretending to run the place.
So where's the lesson here? Any one of us could just claim ourselves the emperor at any time?
Well, any of us can do it. I mean, we all have the ability to just declare that I'm the second coming of Napoleon or any, I could declare that I'm the new president, but it's when you get other people to believe it, that's when
yes.
it's a big deal.
How do you get people to go along with it is the question.
Confidence.
Confidence, yes. Remember my hero, one of my heroes, Howard Stern, when he claimed himself to be the king of all media?
Yeah.
So all he did was he said, I'm just going to give myself a nickname. I'm the king of all media. And guess what? He went out, he made a movie, he made some books, he kept doing his radio show. And now whenever you hear Howard Stern, they call him the king of all media.
I don't call him that.
Well, some people do. I mean, I've seen it on like Jeopardy and magazines and stuff. Some people went along with it.
Yeah, okay. I mean, maybe when I make trivia, I'll ask people, who declared himself the king of all media. And, I guess media's morally bankrupt enough that, sure, he could be the king of it.
I think he was doing the Emperor Norton thing where he was like, all you have to do is just give yourself a nickname. Actually, he took it from Michael Jackson calling himself the king of pop. So he was like, oh, how come he's the king of pop? Just because he says so?
Okay, Michael Jackson probably got the moniker given to him, and then he rolled with it. But Michael Jackson, yeah, I could see him being easily the king of pop.
Yeah. Well, that's what they want you to think.
But back to Emperor Norton.
Yes.
He actually, he governed in a smart way. He ordered the U.S. Congress abolished because it was the source of all of the problems, and it never happened, and it doesn't seem to have worked out well for us.
Where was he exactly?
San Francisco.
He's in San Francisco, and he's calling for the abolishment of what?
Of Congress.
Okay, from San Francisco, but really not affecting anything, right?
No, it didn't affect a darn thing. He was the made-up emperor of the United States and protector of Mexico.
Now, what if they actually allowed him to go to Congress and treated him like the emperor of the United States?
Oh, man, we'd have a lot more emperors. Every day there'd be a new person dressing up in a silly outfit saying that they're the emperor. Well, and he did actually at one point call for a bridge to be built between San Francisco and Oakland, which actually did become the Bay Bridge. Now, I'm also sure that there was thousands of other people in the city that were like, man, they're building good bridges nowadays. Maybe we should build a good bridge in between us and that place so we don't have to drive take a horse all the way around. So, even the crazy homeless man can say that we need a bridge here, and eventually it did happen. But it's just like how I say that I think we should all have flying cars and a better electrical grid and maybe, better food. It's so easy to just make decrees.
Yeah.
Thank God I declared myself emperor at the beginning of this video. So I think that we should all have healthier food.
Yeah, we've all been seeing like smartwatches, self-driving cars, VR glasses. Like we're all, say like, oh, those are going to happen, but somebody actually has to sit there and make them,
Yeah, make them affordable and good.
And they're very glitchy to begin with, but have you been on the Oakland Bridge?
Oh, you talking the Golden Gate?
Well, I don't know.
That one takes it to the north.
Have you spent some time in Oakland?
No, I have yet to be stabbed. I've never been stabbed in my life.
I don't think I have either. But my brother and I went and visited because I think we were going to see like the Oakland. I don't know if it was the Raiders at the time, but we went there to go see like a sports stadium.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see a game or?
No, just drive by the stadium because
Oh.
it wasn't going on at that time. But I'm pretty sure we went to Oakland for that reason.
Okay, yeah.
I have to ask my brother if he's watching.
Because Oakland, they had the Oakland A's.
That was it. Yeah.
And the Raiders playing in the same stadium. So for years, like you'd see people getting tackled on dirt because Oakland, they were sharing a stadium, and sometimes I guess baseball and football were the same couple weeks of the year, so the turf wasn't, you know,
Oh, interesting.
complete throughout the whole stadium.
So the Raiders, when we were there in 2007, I think the Raiders were gone at that time. But did they come back, or they were there before, or
In 2007,
yeah?
they were. I think they were up there.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. You could tell that both of us are experts on San Francisco lore. So he was also. So Emperor Norton also, yeah, he issued a decree against Congress to abolish Congress, because you don't need a Congress if you have an emperor. You know, he's the one that decides everything. He he had his own currency, so
Do you know more? Do you know any more about the currency? What did it look like?
It actually looked good.
You said
If
you've
you look
seen
it up on
pictures?
eBay, you could actually find some of his old notes that bars and restaurants would honor it. He would show up with a note, and it looked good. He might have gone to like a professional printer to make the money.
Is that money worth? Is that money worth
Oh
money
God,
today?
yeah! If you have a 50-cent note from Emperor Norton, it's worth a couple $100 nowadays. So it's held up with inflation.
He created it.
Well, I
all,
mean, it's
yeah.
probably a more honorable promise from him than our actual government.
I feel like you're someone who would abolish Congress.
No, but I'd set term limits, like, you know, like 10 years. Like, no, you can't run for re-election after 10 years, because there's the 2-year period and then there's a 6-year period. So we have these people living. They literally get out of college, they come from rich families, and they just become Congress people, and they never freaking leave.
And I don't think that's good for anyone, really.
I don't think there's any Americans that think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
And yet there's people who just vote for whatever letter they decide. You know, they just see an R or a D or an L, and they just go, oh, I don't care. I'm not thinking about it. So towards the end of his life, after he became the emperor, Emperor Norton actually lived in a boarding house that let him stay for free.
I was gonna ask you, like, did
Was
someone
he just a homeless man?
Yeah, did someone give him a place to stay? Did somebody see his value and say, "Oh, you can come live with me"? But it's interesting. It was a boarding house, but I could imagine it would just be like a friendly family or something. But
Yeah, well, I'm sure just like the greeter in Laguna Beach, who's another weirdo. He lived in a boarding house. Yeah, they let him stay for free because he was well beloved. You know, after a while of being the local weirdo, but if you're harmless, and I think he carried a sword, you know, people were like, hey, you know what, stay here, you know, and, eventually he did die, just like everybody, even emperors die. He died. About 10,000 people attended his funeral. One of the largest that have ever been attended in San Francisco history.
does he have a statue?
Yeah, of course. There's memorials and statues and all sorts of nice stuff.
Oh, wow.
There's a beautiful moment of American history where a local weirdo, and you know what? San Francisco history, because even though right now their image is kind of marred by being like the poop app, where the entire city's covered with poop and just it's awful. It is a town of weirdos. And yeah, Silicon Valley's kind of ruined that image, where a whole bunch of rich people came in, and now even renting a shoebox is $10,000 a month.
Yeah, it's true. Very expensive up there.
Oh my God, it's not worth it to live there. But in their heyday of, you know, during when it started growing and bustling, they accepted weirdos and were weird themselves proudly. So
I'm trying to think of that word for artists. I think bohemians. I think so. Yeah, it's a very just like artistic. They have artistic areas more than. But yeah, in general, I think of Francisco as a very artistic place.
yeah, I had a cousin who lived in a warehouse, an artist warehouse, for a bunch of years, and I heard some stories of just the weirdos and the parties and the never showering and
That's
you know.
not part of being an artist. Showering isn't part of it.
No, being well bathed is not owning a toothbrush is not a prerequisite of being an artist.
Was your cousin an artist, painter, or?
I think she was the type of, sorry, cousin, whatever your name is. Uh, I think she was like the girl that just fell in love with a guy playing a guitar naked on a couch and just followed him to San Francisco to one of those weird warehouses. So
Where
she herself was
anything,
not artistic.
Anything and everything can happen at a San Francisco warehouse.
Oh, yeah. Including burning down and killing a whole bunch of people.
Is that what happened?
Not to her.
Oh, okay.
But
Nearby.
we've all heard about those warehouses.
Well, I know there's probably some more crazy stories from San Francisco, but what else do we got on this list?
So actually, instead of going down the list, I referenced the Laguna Beach greeter.
Yes.
And I think he would fit before we move on to our next weirdo, which is Johnny Appleseed. I think the Laguna Beach greeter needs a quick shout out. Laguna Beach is its own tinier refuge of weirdo artists, bohemians, as you used.
Yeah. So now it's very high-end art, but I mean, at some point,
Laguna Beach isn't that anymore. You got Wyland,
yeah,
and you got all the billionaires and millionaires.
Those must have sprang out of like a very, like an actual affordable place where artists could come and have street fairs and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
now it's like the millionaire artists.
They got priced out. Every billionaire and millionaire's wife wants to make jewelry, and for every $2 he gives her, she makes one. If he's lucky. It just keeps her occupied. So the Sawdust Festival is mostly, these rich people that just want to be artists. It's not about money. And they've priced out all the actual artists that used to live in a van down by the river, whatever. The starving artist, he's starved to death. He's gone. He's not in Laguna Beach anymore. But the greeter is a tradition from the mid to late 1800s. The first one was this Portuguese sailor who shipwrecked off the shores of Laguna Beach. And the only way, he didn't know a lick of English. He had no way to get back home to Portugal. He was either going to die on the shore or whatever. I don't know. So he came up with this weird solution of just waving emphatically to all the ships pulling in. Just real crazy, just became the greeter of Laguna Beach. And he became a well-beloved, people knew they were sailing by Laguna Beach because there was the crazy old man waving at them.
He must have had good energy. He was just very welcoming, very happy, and people enjoyed seeing him, I guess.
Well, if the tradition that is still alive today of the Laguna Beach greeter, if it could be traced back down, yeah, he probably had a really great energy, because today's greeter, because it's been a mantle that's been passed down.
That's the interesting part to me.
Yeah. Have you ever experienced the greeter down there?
I think I've seen the statue, but I've never seen the actual greeter, even though I've been down there quite a lot.
Well, the statue is of the one from the 50s and 60s,
right?
I believe.
Like a white guy, right?
Yeah. With white guy with matted hair.
That's the one I think of, but you're telling me about the original, and then there's this new one.
There's the original, and then it's been passed down 3 times, I think. The new one is this guy by the name of Michael, from Boston, I believe. And he's a really nice guy, and he waves emphatically, and he just spins around, and the locals throw him a couple hundred. I mean, fuck, I'd be working down there as a bartender, and he'd be walking out of town. Well, he never left town, but he'd be walking around with more cash in his back pocket than I did, and I was working 9 to 5 or 9 to 10, whatever.
I never seen him, so I feel like he doesn't really show up that often.
He's not as prominent, but he's got a big territory. So if you've driven PCH up and down a couple times, you're gonna see him.
Interesting. I just didn't know what to look for, because I was expecting that white guy with the beard.
Oh, he wears a captain's hat, a Michael Jackson glove, and sometimes a Michael Jackson jacket.
We gotta
Sometimes
track
not.
him down. I want him as a guest on my show.
Maybe one of these days, we'll take the camera down there. And I know Michael. I go back. I go. He would remember me. Because I used to. He does karaoke. He does a couple of the same songs, just like any other karaoke person.
What songs?
New York State of Mind.
I'm in a
So
New
you get a woman in the
York
room.
state of mind.
No, that's Kanye. And,
Oh, that's in New York.
Yeah,
I don't think that's.
So
I think that doesn't. I don't think that has State of Mind in it. But
we didn't not sing it because we're not good singers. We just don't want to get copyright claimed. But yeah, he does that one if he's got a woman in the room.
he's a rapper.
Yeah, but he's
He's
just,
the king of pop.
He is, and he's got the
Michael.
Michael Jackson
Yeah,
glove and
okay,
jacket,
Okay.
striped shirts, and but he's always wearing the captain's hat. That's his trademark. But he's a cool dude. And for $20, you can get a. Never mind. Moving on.
Remember Johnny Appleseed?
Yes.
This is a legend. What do we call it? A tall tale almost, but it's real. I think it's real, right?
Johnny Appleseed was a real man.
Based on a real person, 1774 to 1845. Who was Johnny Appleseed?
Johnny Appleseed was like this frontier missionary that wandered barefoot across the across the great American openness, and according to the lore, he wore a pot on his head. May or may not have had that. He preached a mix of Christianity and vegetarian mysticism, so I guess he didn't eat meat. And he didn't really plant. The common conception is it's a misconception because he didn't plant apples so you could eat them. It's that he wanted to get drunk. He wanted you to drink hard cider. And he lived outdoors year round, and he just kind of just traveled. And he didn't just throw random seeds on the ground. He planted nurseries. So he would plant proper rows of seeds all around the area,
Trying to make apple booze.
Yes. Yeah.
according to Stephen. But did he not grow trees as well? Apple
Yeah.
trees?
You just
Yeah.
if you're hungry, eat an apple. But if you got plenty of apples, you throw them in a big pot and then you distill it. Or no, I guess you just let the cider ferment, and you got booze for you and the youngins.
And then that is not a children's story at that point.
Back in the day, water wasn't that good, so you give the kids a less fermented apple cider. Yeah, they love it, and they fall asleep early too. So like they're tuckered out by a certain hour of the day.
It's crazy that 1774, that's the start of our country, a little, around that time, and then he lived to the 1845, but yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
And I mean, I'm sure that, those apple trees, some of them are still there.
yeah, and according to our notes here, he practiced a strange form of Christianity called Swedenborgianism, which I think that's a video for another day because that is a fun word to say. Swedenborgianism. Bleh. But I guess it's just a form of vegetarian Christianity where you don't get to even eat lamb.
What it says there is it says preaching kindness and simplicity.
Yeah.
So, but with that name, that's not a simple name.
No, it's not a simplicity name.
It should be much shorter.
It does sound kind, but
sounds Swedish, I guess.
I don't know. Not everyone could wear sackcloth around and wear bare feet. Like that. As nice as that sounds, I like having shelter.
It says here, I mean, this is ahead of his time. He believed harming animals was a sin, since reportedly put out a campfire to spare mosquitoes. So he was trying to save all life, bugs and animals.
Okay, I totally get where people come from when it comes to not killing a cow to eat it, even though that cow would kill us. if it could, and eat us, you know, that cow would, if it could, kill us and eat it. So we're the only animal capable of this empathy and sympathy. Um, Fuck mosquitoes. Mosquitoes suck. They kill too many people, too many animals. They should all die. I mean, not all. They're an important part of the food chain. But I'm gonna kill every mosquito.
And
that I experience.
you don't put out a campfire to save him, because you need that fire if you're living out in the wilderness.
Yeah.
So he was on another level with that stuff.
Death to most if
And I mean, if all you eat is apples, don't you go crazy after a while?
Oh.
And it's booze. He must have been pretty out there.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
By the end, by the end, he was. I'm sure he was out of his mind.
I mean, he wore pot on his hat as a hat.
Allegedly, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what it says there?
It says wore pot on his head as a hat.
And a sackcloth. So he was a character.
Oh yeah.
He's a freak. I mean,
I'm sure his wang dang doodle popped out of that sackcloth on a regular basis.
we all love Johnny Appleseed, but he sounds like a freak of history.
Yeah. See, and here's the problem for us modern people, especially living in California. We see freaks all the time pushing shopping carts around and just throwing trash everywhere. Johnny Appleseed came up to me. I'd probably just put him in the same class, but he was actually a productive human member of society. So, you know, we need to treat. Do we need to treat the cart pusher or drug addict?
You befriended the greeter, so you have some.
Well,
you like freaks on some level.
Yeah. Well, he had a purpose. You know, he has a purpose, and he's proud of himself. And you know, yeah, he lives off the kindness of others, but he doesn't ask for anything. He doesn't think that the world owes him anything.
Yeah, I mean, when we're talking about freaks, like people on the street, they're talking to themselves. They're in their own world, and you know, there's a sickness going on there, and they're not necessarily even, you know, understanding what's going on around them, which is why, you know, I believe that we should help them and get them help in whatever ways that looks like. You know, get them a place to stay, and make sure that they can try to get their mental health together.
Yeah, and I'm not going to go start up an apple nursery with any of them.
But it's interesting, yeah, when you see different, like this idea of like this purpose, you know, like somebody it could make no sense to us, but somebody like gets it in their mind, like, I have to go do this thing, and that's my life. I'm gonna make that my life, spreading apple seeds. That's my life.
Okay, you know what? If a guy's that obsessed with it and he won't drop it, but he's cool. Okay, all right. I'll let's go plant some apples. That's fine.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not letting him in my house though.
All right, well, let's see what this guy's freaky problem is. This is Rasputin. I don't know a lot about this guy. Grigory Rasputin, 1869 to 1916, the Mad Monk. And who is he? He's a Russian mystic tied to, and you go ahead and read the rest. My eyes aren't there.
All right. Well, Rasputin is pretty famous. The Tsar let him in to his royal household to heal his children. One of his children was a hemophiliac. You know.
No, tell us.
So hemophiliac is, if I have it right, is somebody that, say, if I got a paper cut, you don't have the proper platelets to like stop bleeding, so you just keep bleeding. If you get a bruise, it doesn't bruise properly. You know, for us, there's a whole immune system, whole thing that happens when you get a bruise, so that you don't get like blood clots that kill you or keep bleeding. The Tsar's child, because they were so interbred. See, the problem with being royalty is you need to keep breeding with other royalty so that you don't get your bloodline tainted by commoners. And this inbreeding created a family of hemophiliacs. Well, they invited Rasputin a healer uh, that to into their home so that he could heal their son.
Who was
And
bleeding all the time.
he was having these health problems,
Yeah.
and basically, this guy didn't shower, or this guy didn't bathe. He
He was another artist, bohemian, mystic.
yeah, and he was known for being drunk all the time. But in Russia at that time, whatever, um, womanizing and spiritual cures, as in, I can cure your wife with my penis.
Oh wow, is that on here? Is that on his
Yeah.
resume here?
No, he was known for womanizing, and if you got these people with these notions that you're an art,
A healer.
a
A
healer,
mystic healer.
they'll believe you when you come
And
up
then
to them.
you create a cult out of that.
Yeah,
Cult
basically.
mentality. Says that the rumors exaggerated to nobles and propaganda. So was somebody going around saying, "Oh, this is a healer"? Like he had followers, basically,
He had a reputation, probably in some small village or something
from
like
the
that.
czar. No, was the czar going around telling people this is a healer, and then
Well,
everybody
yeah.
knew?
Well, once he brought him in,
Yeah.
and this is the problem with politics and a lot of other things. It's like when you make a mistake of letting a crazed, womanizing, drunken healer type into your home, are you going to admit to the people that that know you let him in that you made a mistake, or are you just going to double down and say, "Oh no, he's an amazing healer"?
Right.
So yeah, his reputation spread even more, and it got
And you say it that way. I say it like everybody's human, and like the czar, he was probably just as mentally ill and crazy as any other person. He probably believed he was a healer.
yeah, he's surrounded by yes men.
I mean, he was like, he invited him in, and then maybe he saw enough results to be like, yeah, this guy is the real deal. And then he went and told all his friends.
I do remember hearing that the Tsar's son did get a little bit better, or seemingly.
It claims here he survived a poisoning, a shooting, and a stabbing until he didn't, which I'm assuming he was killed at some
He
point.
eventually did die.
Were people just like attacking him, seeing what he could do?
No.
Why were people shooting and stabbing him?
Okay, the jig was up. People got tired of him. There's only so many powerful people's wives that you can say, "Oh, I can fix this and that." Your wife seems to be in a bad mood. I'm sure I can cure her. Take her to my chambers. There's only so many powerful people you can do that to before eventually you get poisoned, and then you wake up having not died, and then they shoot you, and then you still don't die, and then they throw you in a burlap sack, and then they beat you,
Damn.
and then they throw you in the river. Well, apparently, they poisoned him and threw him into the river. But it was the wintertime. It's Russia, and it's super cold, and it made it so he didn't die from the poison. And then then he survived that, and then they shot him, and then that didn't kill him immediately, and then they beat him. So that's one of the reasons that his name is so famous. I mean, he was the bad guy in Hellboy.
Okay.
Rasputin.
I know I'd heard
man
the
that
name.
doesn't die.
I think it's like an ABBA song or something. I've heard the name for sure. I didn't know all this crazy history. It sounds like a very corrupt, there's a lot of corruption in that system, and he was a major part of it. And he's so I mean, I'm just learning about him.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting moment in a freak.
Well, what is his legacy? Do the Russians look at him as something to be, or do they do? Does
No,
it? Yeah.
actually, his legacy was he delegitimized the family that ran Russia. Like they might have been. I think they were the last family or the last czar that ever existed. Because shortly after Rasputin's Death.
1916.
Well, I know. I
Yeah.
Death, because he's still around
I
somewhere.
don't know, but it says
Um,
1916.
So, well, 1916, about that same year or so, was the Russian Revolution where Lenin took control.
Okay, yeah,
You
we're
know.
in like World War One
Yeah.
era. Yeah.
So shortly after Rasputin's gone, the delegitimization of the Tsar family was so bad, uh, from that, and just people being, they're starving to death and all this other stuff, and then you're hearing about this crazy guy, like getting drunk and womanizing amongst the powerful people. It's kind of demoralizing, and it's like if our president had a clown that, like,
Did he dress up? Did he have a cool outfit or like a cool mask or anything?
like a
Mustache?
rag, like think a Jedi, man.
Yeah, he had a
Except
robe. Did he have a
clean.
mustache? I'm trying to.
Yeah,
I'm trying
crazy
to remember.
wacky hair.
Yeah,
and,
yeah. I think I've seen a picture. He's got like a mustache
Yeah,
or something.
not a good look, especially when everyone else is in a suit and like a military uniform and all that. Having that just like free roam. So, you know, one of the last notes we have here is his bizarre presence helped fuel the idea that the royal family was controlled by dark forces, contributing to the Russian Revolution's momentum. So he helped delegitimize the royal family at the time, and
Well, who wants a royal family ruling your country, anyways? England.
England, they don't even want to go. They had a whole movement. Actually, they had to change the phrasing because they protested Trump, and they couldn't call it no kings because they have a king. They had to call it no tyrants. So, because if they had said no kings, they would have all gone to jail. But that's okay. You're not allowed to make fun of your royal families if you have a royal family.
But that's very interesting. I never heard that story. He sounds like a real freak.
Sure.
Rest in peace, Rasputin. But that's a
He's
crazy.
fine. He's probably drinking Mai Tais on the Hawaiian coast.
Crazy part of history that I'd never heard before. So thank you for enlightening me on that one.
Oh yeah, Rasputin's still a great man.
Well, go on to this next one. This is the original hobo philosopher.
Yes, this is one of the original freaks that fits on this list of people we're talking about, and somebody that actually is pretty important philosopher for the minimalist people. There's the minimalist movement. This man was one of the original minimalists. I'm going to mangle his name, Diogenes.
I was thinking Diogenes.
It could be Diogenes or Diogenes.
Diogenes of Sinope.
Sinope. Sinope. It might be Sinope.
Where's that?
It's Greece.
Greece. I was gonna guess Greece. 412 to 323 BC.
Yeah. So about 2,500 years ago. This man, he was the Greek Cynic philosopher who lived in a giant wine barrel, and he just rejected society.
What does that even mean? He lived in a barrel. Like was it like the size of himself, and he would just jump in it?
He literally. So there was a wine they would make wine, and to transport it, you put it in a big cask, or
it's only like the size of like a human
big clay pot.
It's only like the size of like one human.
No,
bigger than that. He could lay down in it.
Yeah,
okay,
so he could just lay down in it, and so he lived in a giant wine cask that was used for wine, and then eventually it was discarded, and he just decided, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna live in this. Probably he was like the biggest hermit crab of them all.
Here's the note. It says he lived in a large barrel and he rejected society.
Yeah, so he was he rejected the rat race. He had no inclination. He did not want to make money or produce anything, or see, this is the capitalist in me coming out. He didn't want to be useful to society, so he rejected it. He was just kind of living a nomadic life around people, which we've all seen. He apparently was known for carrying a lantern to look for an honest man. He would wander and look for that honest man.
We want to be careful with this second one. It says he did something publicly that to make a philosophical point, something intimate.
Yes.
To himself, intimately.
He had hairy palms. And yeah, he would apparently pleasure himself
So this
in
guy
public.
So this guy, he actually contributed to history, but like he did like that. He was known for that.
Well, that, and, you know, he spread his teachings from his barrel. He'd probably get some angry shopkeeper that he was too close to. Like, go, what the heck is wrong with you? And then he'd start talking, and people would listen.
It says he insulted Alex the Great to his face.
Yeah, well, actually, at one point, Alexander the Great, he was a hot, you know, he was big at this
The
point.
the greatest of all. He was ruling what all of
Greece
Greece.
and Macedon.
Yeah.
At that point, and he actually purposely sought out Diogenes, and he stood in the sunlight, blocking the sunlight to Diogenes, and he said, you know, in our favorite freak here, said, "Hey, you're in my sunlight. Get out of here."
He said, "I'm trying to jerk off."
Yeah, probably. And Alexander was known for he might have enjoyed that.
Was he the one with all where they would like feed him grapes and everything?
Yeah.
Drink large amounts of wine.
Oh yeah, Alexander was a drunk. I mean, he burned down a city just because he was drunk. Woke up and gone, oh, we shouldn't have done that. But you know, it messes with your emotions. So yeah, basically he talked down. He basically told the most powerful man in the known world to get the heck out of my sunlight, and wasn't killed. You know, anybody else tells Alexander the Great, you know, get the heck out of my sun. You know, a tyrant would just kill you. But you know, apparently Diogenes was like known well enough that Alexander was like, nah, I don't want his blood on my hands, I guess.
This is his part of his philosophy was he would carry a lantern around saying he was looking for an honest man. It's written twice on here, so it must be important.
Nah, I just have the notes twice.
Oh.
It repeated itself.
Oh yeah.
But he was around the time that Plato existed, and I guess he plucked a chicken and saying, "Behold, Plato's man." And
so who was first, Plato or Socrates?
I think Socrates was a teacher of Plato.
Right. So I heard the theory that Socrates wasn't real, as if Plato just said, "Oh, my teacher," and Socrates wasn't even real.
Oh, that's a good trick.
But yeah. So I was wondering if it was Plato who was the one who didn't exist, or Socrates. But I was in school and they gave me that theory that Socrates was Plato's invention.
Yeah, my mentor, a really smart guy, told me that.
Yeah. So that was an interesting one. And history is weird like that because, you know, who knows what actual historical record we have of any of this.
So, Diogenes is kind of an inspiration, especially to the minimalist types and a lot of Stoics. There's one story of where he was so, you know, he didn't have anything. He wanted for nothing. And apparently he had a bowl. Back in the day, you had a bowl to drink water out of. That was like, you know, like one step up of like, you know, you had clothes, you had a bowl, so you didn't have to drink with your hands. And at one point he realized that he was too attached to his bowl, and he just discarded it and just drank with his hands the rest of his life.
That is true minimalism right there.
Yeah.
You do not even need bowls, cups. Just drink from your hands.
Yeah. What if Alexander the Great chopped off his hands? He would have.
We don't even need hands.
Yeah.
Who needs them?
Huh.
No, we need our hands. But was this back when they were wiping with their hands? Hopefully not.
Yeah. Well, maybe. No, I mean, I know the Romans used a shared sponge. It was a shared sponge at a public facility. Yeah. Awesome. Good times. God, people stank back in the day.
That's funny. I never heard of this shared sponge deal. I know they actually, you know, I actually went, well, it was Rome, I think, but they actually had like canals for plumbing.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They had the aqueducts
Yeah.
and shared bathhouses
Mm-hmm.
and shared public toilets and a shared sponge on a stick that you wipe everybody in town's butt with. Um, yeah, yeah. Yeah, one day we'll go into the Roman Empire and how all the gross stuff that they did, but also at the same time, the amazing stuff that they did, the engineering. But by our standards, they were disgusting, disgusting people. Uh, Myself, I like the idea of the scraping stone, or where you basically take a sharp edge and you oil yourself down and you remove excess skin that way. It's pretty, works good, but I also like soap. Soap! This story is brought to you by soap. Use it more often, everybody.
We're doing this show without me with a phone in my hand, so I'd like to look up like when was soap invented? When did they get plumbing in Greece? I'd love to be able to look this stuff up.
According to the Romans, that soap was a barbarian invention.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they had combs too.
What's that last line that it says?
Well, considered insane by many, but inspired Stoicism and the minimalist philosophy.
Does he have any good quotes? That's another thing I would want to look up.
Oh, I don't like this bowl no more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, one more, and then we're
All
gonna
right.
wrap this up. Okay, I got this. I can read the title. It says, Terrare,
Terrare.
1772 to 1798. That's a short life, because he's the man who could eat anything, but he only lived to be like 20 years. No, 26.
26, yeah, yeah.
So what's this guy's deal? The man who could eat anything. I like that title. I want him on my show.
No, you don't. You smelled awful. Terrare was a Frenchman with the insatiable appetite. He just ate. That's all he did. He would eat.
Entire baskets of food, live animals, and garbage.
Oh yeah. Like he would eat everything. It was insane the amount of food he would eat, to the point where we're talking about him 250 years later.
But it says that he ate live animals. How do you eat a live animal?
Well, like a
Bite his head off?
Yeah, yeah. If a rabbit jumps into your lap,
Yes.
you just grab it with two hands and you hold it securely because rabbits can like squiggle, and you just start biting.
Biting,
Yeah,
breaking his neck and
yeah.
its
Just
ears and face.
start biting it. And, throw it down.
Wow.
Yeah, frogs
Wow.
are easy.
So he could eat anything. So he was grabbing bugs, grabbing animals, and just eating them.
Yeah. He probably had something wrong with his brain that just told him he was hungry all the time.
That's a real thing. That's a I forget what they call it, but I've heard of that as people who never stop eating. Employed by the French army as a courier, swallowed the messages in boxes. Why would he do that?
Because no one would dig into your stomach to like.
So then he would excrete them, and that's how he would.
I guess so.
So he made himself useful because he would eat the messages, and then they couldn't get the message out of him.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So you just kind of like put
In
it
boxes, he was eating a box.
Yeah, it says boxes. I used AI for this, so it might have been capsules or something.
He's eating the whole box.
Yeah.
Like a little ring box or something.
Okay, it says the man who could eat anything. I don't think he was able to unhinge his jaws and like widen his esophagus to eat food, but he could, he could just eat anything. Apparently it says here that he could eat cats, snakes, eels.
Eels?
Yeah, an eel is just like a big noodle.
But you have to actually pull that out of the water.
Yeah, I get. You have other people catch it, or you catch it yourself. You've seen Lord of the Rings.
Gollum, yeah, he
Yeah,
pulls
yeah.
that eel out, doesn't he?
Yeah, a fish, but same principle. Slippery, but apparently it was starting to wear on him. I mean, he died at 26. He was in poor health. He had wrinkled, sagging skin. He had a hot body temperature, constantly sweating. Apparently, and I'm wrong for what I just said, according to this note, it says that he could open his jaw and stomach massively like a snake, which would be a sight to see.
Well, to get a rabbit head in your mouth, you would need to unhinge your jaw a little bit.
Yeah. I'm just curious, like, how big of an animal that he can get.
So Gollum, he wasn't a hobbit, and maybe at one point he was a hobbit. Well, what's his species called? Didn't Gollum have a species?
River folk, they called him.
Oh, really? Okay, I thought he was like a gremlin or some other weird name.
Oh, no. Well, no, that's what the ring did to him. He was
Yeah.
a river dweller.
Yeah.
So he was a human. I don't think he was a hobbit.
Did he become something after? Did they give him another name once he?
So he was.
And now we're getting into Lord of the Rings.
It's so easy to go into Lord of the Rings.
I wanted to.
What was his name?
Yeah, I know he's Gollum. I thought maybe Gollum is even a species. I don't know, but
No. The ring turned him into that.
Yeah, that's all I was
Over time.
wondering is like, does his little what he looks like? Does that have a species name? But I don't think it does.
God, what was Gollum's original name? It's bugging me.
We can look that up later. But
Yeah.
so I was gonna say that Tarare here, he was like Gollum.
Yeah.
He became something, but 26 years. That's like he left a legacy. And where did you hear about this man?
I read about him a long time ago. I mean, obviously the AI told me, but I do remember watching a Hugbees video about it, and from what he described, when Tarare died, he was basically he was so sick and so putrid that he like decomposed like 50 times faster than a regular human being. Because he was just like his body stopped working and he just still kept.
I wonder
shoving
what
food
it
down.
was. Oh, and I think Hodgkin's disease. There's a name of like these people who can never stop eating. But I mean, well, I wonder what it was specifically that like killed him before. I mean, it must have been really just gotten overweight and had bad organs and yeah.
Maybe he ate a salad. It fucks me up.
The man who could eat anything. Wow. I'd like to see a picture of that man.
Well, maybe you'll for the during the edit, I will put a picture of Tarare right here where my hands are.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah. Well,
I really.
yeah,
I don't
I'm
know
gonna
if
throw
I'm-
some photos in for the edit.
I don't know if I'm that motivated, but we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have limited time. It's already a certain amount of time that we've taken up of everybody else's.
Yeah, so if you guys liked our show on live or when I post this, tell us who's your favorite homeless person, who's your favorite freak of history, and we'll talk about them next time. And thank you for watching the Brandon K Show. We will be doing more of these, maybe a part 2 soon. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being on the show, Steven.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see you next time.
All right. Oh shoot! I forgot to hit record.
My phone was going, right?
Yes.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Anybody watching? One? Yeah, one was watching and 3 likes.
Oh wow.
Thanks, guys. Glad you were here. This was just a test, but we'll do it again soon. See if I can.